Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Good day, viewers, all of you following us in Nigeria and in the diaspora. You're welcome to another edition of Money Radio. Today is Monday, and we are discussing the article on the Nigerian economy from National Economy. National Economy is your business and economy newspaper that brings you all of the happenings that you need to know happening in Nigeria. You're welcome. Today we're discussing waste to wealth. How can Nigerians turn that waste, human defecation actually, into wealth? And with me in the studio to discuss the issue is Mr. Anthony Uko. And I am Case Hammond, your host. You're all welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Nigeria occupies the unenviable position of being the highest in the world when it comes to human defecation. Yes. And you will all agree with me that being the highest in the world in terms of open defecation, that is the word, not open defecation, is actually a liability because it has health implications. Yes. How can Nigeria turn that liability into asset? And that is what we are discussing today. So we are in good company. I'm sure all of you, or all of us, have some interest in the issue because we don't like it's unsightly when you come across what we call that liability. So, like we said, it has health implications. And those health implications are what we want to turn from being the liability into the asset. So, in terms of statistics, on average, 37% of Nigerians actually do open defecation. Starting from Abia State, which has the lowest rate of open defecation in Nigeria, to Kogi, where we have the highest percentage of open defecation in the country. So Abia State has 1.2%, whereas Kogi State has 65.8% rate of open defecation. So
that's quite high.
That's high, and you can understand the implication it will have on health.
On health.
Yeah. So let's look at a few other states that have that above average. That are above average. You said we said that Nigeria's average is 37%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So above average, we have, for example, Ekiti State, 60.8, Plateau State, 56.2, Oyo State, 54%, Cross River State, 53.6%, Benue State, 52.9%. Taraba State, 52.6%. Nasarawa State, 50.8%. Kwara State, 50.5%. Enugu, 48.6%.
Wow.
Jigawa, 48.1%. Ondo State, 47.6%. Niger State, 47.5%. Ebonyi State, 45.5%, Osun State 39.2%, and Kebbi State 37.6%.
Wow.
All
That's
of the rest,
yes, of the country are above average.
Yeah, and
So,
the rest are actually below average. It's good for them. That is the information we just read here is according to UNICEF. That's what UNICEF says, and you will understand that it's a problem. So let's discuss the health implications first of all.
Of course, human waste is something that you can't do away with it. everyone, of course, has to um, let go of that waste for life.
That's nature.
Nature for life to continue. So, and it's not something that you can actually wish away. But on the other hand, being able to let go of that waste in a manner that does not pose other liabilities is what UNICEF and other global bodies are clamoring for. And at this rate, at the average of 37, it puts Nigeria at a very high position globally.
That report says actually 50 million Nigerians.
Wow,
do that.
50 million Nigerians.
That's about one quarter of the population, thereabout.
So, especially in a country where the healthcare system is the way it is, having this as a problem further compounds the health challenges that you would find, and whereby it's difficult to assess health interventions, even in other in cases. Is not something that Nigerians need to add to.
Yes.
They shouldn't add to the prevailing health problem by going the way of open defecation, messing up everywhere, increasing the health problems that are already on the ground.
Yes. What's the way to go? So what we are arguing about now is turning that liability into wealth. That is what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So actually in Nigeria we have 774 local government areas. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we are arguing that if at the minimum we're talking about turning that waste into mm-hmm. wealth now, that liability into asset. Mm-hmm. We're arguing that if, for example, you have at the barest minimum, you have 50 facilities available that by some public-private partnership or some government initiative or private initiative, you have 50 of those facilities produced or built.
50,000.
No, just 50.
Okay, 50.
Just 50 in each local government, in each of the 774 local governments, and that we can say that is the barest minimum. So with that, if you build 50 for each local government, you have across the country 39,000 of those facilities brought on board. Isn't that so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the 39,000, assuming that each of those make 20,000 naira a day, rendering that, giving that facility out for service, maybe at a minimal rate to use those facilities. You have 774 million every day coming from that industry. That is at the rate of 20,000 naira for each of the 39,000 of those facilities. You have 774 million every day. Multiply that by 365. You have 282 billion dollars. Sorry, not dollars, naira. 282 billion naira a year. But you will agree with me that that is a conservative figure. That is, we're talking about a conservative figure because National Economy actually interviewed a number of people who operate similar facilities in Lagos, and they found out that they make between 50 and 100,000 a day, not 20,000. So if you have 50 to 100,000, depending on how cosmopolitan the location you have that facility, it will determine how much you have available in those places or how much you can make out of that that industry.
Yeah, but I think we should, as it's a very good plan as laid out there on paper. It's something that can generate a lot of wealth
Yeah.
from the waste. However, we should look at it here that most of the open defecation is not necessarily is prevalent in the rural areas where many of the homes do not have uh, facilities, as in toilet facilities.
That is true.
So with that, in many of the urban areas, cities, you have facilities where maybe in the market or in some of the stores or offices that people can easily walk into. So do you think that having this and then making those projections that people in the rural areas would patronize and use those facilities?
Let's do a little analogy right now before we answer that question. It may interest you that the list we just read, those percentages by state.
Yeah.
It may interest you that Lagos is not above average. A place like Lagos is not above average. Lagos is below average. That wasn't the case a few years back.
Okay.
It became the case that Lagos is below average when a government came, and I wouldn't like to mention any particular governor who came into power and made sure that those facilities were made available and clamped down hard on such activities. But Lagos is not on that list of the above average. So something was done, but Lagos was high above average some time back.
Yeah.
Those who have lived in Lagos will testify to this. But we have.
Well, of course, we know that Lagos is more or less a cosmopolitan state.
Even at that,
most of the activities within the state is basically within the city region.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that. You know, one thing that discourages such a thing that was supposed to naturally discourage such a thing is the fact that Lagos is an open place, and everybody will see But people did those things at night, but we see that has reduced in Lagos, and it's because of their facilities that were made available. But in these places, these other places, and you agree that in many of these places, those things happen around parks.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Public
places where the facility is not available means there is business to be done there.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, at 20 naira, 50 naira, those things can be done, and that's what we're talking about. Yeah, but let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about what government is doing, what government should do, and the way forward. Let's take a quick break. Please stay with us.
Dead studio today. Is anybody monitoring?
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
You're welcome back, viewers, to Money Radio. We're talking about a menace. Still with me in the studio is Uko, Anthony Uko, and I am Case Hammond, your host. So we're still talking about the issue of open defecation, and that is a menace, and that should be stopped because it is constituting a whole lot of liability, health hazard. Yes,
an unsightly environment.
exactly.
Can you imagine walking down an ordinarily beautiful road or park, and all of a sudden you stumble on it?
Yeah.
So,
And in other climes, actually, in Occidental climes, you really have those things available, readily available, and people make money. There's a private enterprise. It's something that is operated by private individuals, and they make money out of these services. So the UNICEF says that every dollar spent on sanitation brings back a return of something between $9 and $40 in terms of health benefits and a number of things. Take, for example, let's bring India as an example. India used to be the capital of open defecation in the world. But with time, they set a target for themselves, and with time, they brought it under control. And today, they have built more than 1 million toilets. I'm talking about per annum over a range of time, and with time, they actually brought that under control. Nigeria has a target, a 2025 target, and
2025 is around the corner.
It's around the corner. It's almost about 3 years, from now. We remember that in 2018, President Buhari declared a state of emergency on sanitation, and it remains to be seen because the amount that was targeted or budgeted for that bring an end to open defecation was actually 1.1 trillion naira. At the time, it was about 2.7 billion in terms of in dollar terms. Yes. Today, of course, we know that because of exchange rate, that amount will go up. 75% was supposed to be undertaken, or 75% of that 1.1 trillion was supposed to come from private individuals, the private sector, whereas the 25% was supposed to come from the public sector. But as of now, we see that very little, if anything, is being done because the situation still persists. And you will agree with me that we are actually in a dire situation. That brings an issue up, which is what we have on fiscal policy and national economy today, on youth unemployment. Let's tackle this issue of youth unemployment. Why are we in terms of youth unemployment? We know that we have right now about 33% general.
Then the bulk of that is within the youth population, within the ages 15 to 35.
That is scary. And it speaks to why we have crime on the rise. Yes. This is what we just discussed, is an opportunity to make money.
Yes.
First of all, before we leave this issue, that state of emergency declared by the president on sanitation, it sounds like just the investment aspect, but the implementation aspect, until it becomes a law, and a stringent one at that makes it illegal with stiff penalties, that if there is so and so thing done in so and so area, it should be with at least a hefty fine, and that would bring an end. Now, that will give an opportunity for the youth
Okay,
to
come in
to
the
come
area
into
of
the area. Yeah,
community policing.
yeah, that is just one area. That's just one area. No, but if the youth were to come in and make sure that those were implemented,
Were
it
implemented.
will actually give rise, or it will give opportunity to have more of these public facilities available, and if they are available, jobs can be derived from there. Now, which other areas do you think we can tap into? The federal government can tap into to enhance youth employment?
I think in this the issue of open defecation, if I'm to be on it, in terms of providing the um, eradicating it.
Yeah.
I believe that the private sector
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have that much of. The private sector ordinarily is out there, is looking for opportunity to harness to make profit.
Yeah.
But it's where that private sector operator has to provide most of the infrastructure that is needed. In this now, they will need water, they will need power, they will need, and those basic, in addition to putting the building, the structure in place.
Yeah.
If they still have to provide it, then it makes the burden on the private sector much. So I believe that's something that that makes most of the private sector operators shy away from all these things, because if the infrastructure was in place ordinarily, I believe it's something that a private sector operator would see the opportunities in it and go in without necessarily waiting for government to put in their own part of it. So it still boils down to the issue of infrastructure, the issue of government putting improving generally infrastructure within the country. Then in the area of youth unemployment, I think this era right now is for the youth because of digital transformation in a whole lot of things. And that is the forte that youth are very much interested in. They are captivated by social media, they are captivated by technology, phones, so many of those things. So I think is something that should be done is to begin to create. But the bad thing is that as much as they are captivated by technology,
Yeah.
a lot of them use it for leisure.
Yes, that's true.
A lot of them use these things for leisure. The average youth, you can see someone, if he has money, he goes for a very high-tech phone.
Of course.
But he's not going for that high-tech phone because he wants to use it to make money.
That's true.
He goes there because he wants to be up to par with technology, the latest phone, the latest gadget, and so on. But there are opportunities inherent in this in the digital age. Look at all the technology tech solutions.
Yeah.
In different areas. They are mostly powered by youth.
Yeah.
Payment options, Paystack,
Yeah.
for instance, is developed by youth.
Yeah.
And so I think the way government can go about this, it's going through in the area of creating awareness, starting from the grassroots, maybe secondary school now, and beginning to lay the foundation about entrepreneurship, what the youth can do to provide jobs, not just for themselves, but for others around.
You mentioned this thing, and it's very important. There is this aspect of our curriculum that is lacking,
It's lacking.
and it's entrepreneurship.
Yes, the average youth that goes to school wants to finish school and look for
For-
a white collar job or an office position
Yeah.
thereabout, or something that is that someone else has already worked on, invested in. But if there is a drastic change in the way the curriculum in school, start from secondary school, is structured, making them aware from early that they can provide their own jobs, then they begin to build on that. So the moment they are handling a phone, they know that, oh, what can I do with this phone that will generate income? And they begin to build on that. To me, I feel that is an area that government should focus on at this time.
You're right. This is, in fact, you make an interesting point that I hope we can discuss on some future edition of Money Radio. Entrepreneurship being taught in schools. You made a point that people go to school and all that is on their mind while in school is how to come out and go and look for a job that other people have created. And that is something that has really kept this country behind.
Of course, sure.
The youth really need to step up their game. And these things sometimes go with orientation.
Oh, sure.
There is one agency which I don't want to mention because whenever I mention them, it makes me feel angry. But I think we should make a date that the next time we come to discuss, we talk about this issue of youth unemployment and how it goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship being taught in school.
In schools.
Not just what we discussed, not just on the daily discussion on agriculture that you can delve into. Entrepreneurship. Next time we come on Money Radio, we should discuss that. Yeah. So that's the much we can take for the day. You've been following Money Radio and its national economy. The issue we've been talking about, how to make money out of waste to wealth, how to make money out of human waste, which is prevalent everywhere. That is an opportunity. Then we talked about youth unemployment, which is what we can delve into. Please join us the next time we meet on this segment of Money Radio, which discusses the issues in the national economy. Please, until then, stay blessed. Thank you very much for being here. I'm your host. And thanks also to our producers. Have a nice day.